Yo, what's up? I'm Big Nick Vasquez,
I'm Nick Jr.
also known as Kiki Vasquez. This is Finished Combat Sports Podcast, episode 1. Combat sports, jiu-jitsu, MMA news, boxing. I mean, I follow a lot of that stuff on socials, mostly on Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram at Nick Vasquez Jr. if you want to follow me on Instagram. And you can follow Kiki at Kiki Vasquez. Kiki _ Vasquez.
It's just L _ Kiki.
Oh, you're right. It's not Kiki Vasquez. It's L _ Kiki Jitsu. Right. Okay, got you. It's something like that. We'll put something in the description or on the screen that has the correct IG handles, socials, and stuff like that. But this is something we want to do. It's just gonna be like MMA, jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing news and talk. You know what I'm saying? There's actually a lot going on within jiu-jitsu right now, especially on the no-gi grappling side. We do jiu-jitsu. We train at Alvarez. I am a brown belt. Nick is my son. We're both Nick, but Nick Jr. He's my junior. I'm actually junior. He's the third. But the people that only know us, I'm Big Nick or Nick Senior, and he's Nick Jr. because he's my junior, basically. And maybe I'm over-explaining, which I have a tendency to do, but that's okay. We're gonna run with it. But yeah, we've been doing jiu-jitsu for going on 11 years, I think.
Yeah.
Going on 11. I think. No, I guess it is 10, right? We started in 2014. And I had done it before. I had done it at another place a long time ago, around the time I was 25. So I had been introduced to it, and I loved it immediately. And where I did it before, there was a place in Mesquite. It was called SFS MMA. It was an MMA school. And at the time, I was 25 years old, and I kind of did have aspirations to be an MMA fighter. Like, I wanted to fight. And then so when I went to this place to start, trying to train and kind of pursue that, I ended up, the way my schedule worked, I only had time to do the jiu-jitsu classes. I didn't really have the time to do the striking and the MMA and the other wrestling classes. Well, I did some of the wrestling classes, but the only thing I had time for was grappling. So I pretty much fell in love with that. The thing is, I was only there for a few months. I was there for like 3, maybe 4 months. I think, something like that. It wasn't very long. It was just a few months. I actually made some really cool friends over there. Friends of mine that, who... They're good people, you know what I'm saying? So made some good friends over there. Friends who I still have connections through socials and stuff like that. But yeah, we started training where we're at now at Alvarez Jiu-Jitsu in Arlington 10 years ago. All of us did, actually. At the time, it was we only had 2 kids. We've had another daughter since then. Me and my wife have had another daughter since then, his little sister. But at the time, it was just we only had the 2. We had Nick and my oldest daughter, Emma. And we started training. And, I had done it before, and I loved it. And I knew how valuable it was, I think, as a martial art and just as a physical health thing. I knew how good it was as far as, like, knowing how to fight in a hand-to-hand combat situation. I know it's good to know other things like striking and stuff, which we've kind of dabbled in. We tried out that class over in Garland when we went with Kali, when we went with little Kali. My nephew, his cousin, the place in Garland is called Rojas Muay Thai. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for a awesome place, honestly, an awesome place. I loved it. We went. Remember? Do you remember that? Yeah. It was great, right? It was great. I loved it. And like, if we weren't, if we had more time and probably even more money, I would say, is the issue. If we had the money to pay for jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai or boxing or any kind of striking, probably would. Even though right now we are focused on jiu-jitsu and lifting. Like we lift strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
As a complementary training tool for our jiu-jitsu. But strength is important, period. I think strength is important for life. So whether or not you do martial arts or whether, I think it's good to do one or the other. And I think it's great to do both. You know what I'm saying? I think physical activity is important for your body and your mind. You know, right? You agree? And, you know, I think it's made a huge difference in our lives. Right? It's made a big difference in my life. I mean, I used to weigh 380 pounds, just to kind of go into a little bit of my story, which people that know me have probably heard several times over and over again. You know, right? Yeah. You know the story? What? You think you could tell it?
No.
How many times have you heard it though?
I don't know.
You know, but well, what about you? Like, well, people.
Well, I don't think I've heard it too many times. It's just.
Well, I've talked about it a lot. I talk about it a lot.
Well, you don't talk. You talk about it to other people like all the time.
Yeah. I don't, and I'm not trying to bring it up. That's just my life. You know what I'm saying? That's just my life. I think you know, literally all we do is jiu-jitsu, lift weights. We're gamers, so we game. But even that, like, especially for me, because I am an adult who has a job and recovery is a bitch. So I have to, like, make sure that I don't get too much into gaming. You know what I'm saying? And also recovery is important for you. That's why I push that with you. Like, hey, man, don't stay up late. I know you want to play video games. I don't mind if you play video games. Play Fortnite, play your games, be on your computer with your friends. That's fine. And the thing that I've always said to you is, I know those things are okay, and that's fine. You want to have time to chill, relax, and unwind. But also make sure you're taking care of your body. You're taking care of your mind. You're taking care of your business, your responsibilities, whatever they are. You know what I'm saying? So like video games is something that we like to do and we enjoy, and it's fun, and it's cool to relax and chill and it's cool to have time to relax, chill, play video games, play Fortnite. I've been into NBA 2K lately. I was playing 2K23, and my daughter Emma, who is like one of the sweetest people I know. She's a very thoughtful person. She gets that from her mom, because I'll admit that I'm not the most thoughtful person. I'm not a very not on purpose. Like, people are always on my mind, but I'm just so terrible at planning. And even as I say that, it sounds like such a shitty excuse. But but my daughter's very thoughtful, and for Father's Day she bought me 2K24. So I've been playing that, and I was actually just talking to my wife, your mom, about how, like, I've been staying up too late just to play video games, and obviously, like, that cuts into my sleep, so it affects my recovery. So I wake up feeling like shit, feeling sore, feeling beat up, you know, from having went to train the day before and then having gone to work. And lately I've been working, like, you know, 2 or 3 in the evening until about 11 or 12 o'clock at night. So I get home midnight or later. And sometimes, like, lately I've been kind of stressed. Lately I've been a bit stressed, you know what I'm saying? So, lately I've been a bit stressed, and I come home and I'm like, oh, I don't want to just go to sleep, even though I'm tired and I feel sore and I feel like depleted and I feel like I need to sleep. I'm like, oh, I don't want to just go to sleep. I want to chill a little bit. I want to relax, chill, and unwind, which is something that I hear a lot of people talk about, like adults, like at work and stuff, and even people who we train with. They feel like they need to make that time to unwind, because otherwise they struggle to fall asleep. Like, when you're coming home from work or a hard training session, or we know people like KJ, who basically jiu-jitsu is his job. Like, he loves it, he does it, he is an athlete, but also like he teaches. It's his job. So when he comes home from a hard training session, he's a coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've heard him talk when he comes home from a hard training. It's understandable. You know, he's gonna shower and whatever he does, and maybe he's still amped. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you've experienced that before. Mm-hmm. Whether it's like jiu-jitsu or lifting, you get home, you're still like, your body's still going, like you're turned up. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you had like a hard training session. You know, you want to have?
I don't know. I don't know.
Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt like you had trouble sleeping because like you had too hard of a training session?
No.
Earlier that day? No. No. Well, you're young. You're 16. You know, but also you don't come home and go straight to sleep, right? Like most of the time, you're not trying to, right?
No, I eat.
Right, that's a struggle, trying to get home before 9, right? Trying to get home before 9, because class is over at 8:30, right? Trying to be home before 9, even though, like, you wanna, like, you have the urge. When we go train, like, we train, and it would be probably very disciplined of us to just, okay, class is over, let's get off the mats, let's change, let's go home, jump in the shower, eat, and go to bed. Like it would probably benefit it. But also, like, for me, after class, I have the I don't want to say the urge, like I have the, like, I want to socialize. Mm-hmm. I want to socialize. I want to talk to my friends. I like it. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. I want to talk to my friends. That's my wife. She's actually working. We want a logo. Just something simple that we can, and so the first thing we come out with may not be what we stay with, but we want something that we can brand clips and videos with right now for social media and stuff like that. What was I saying? But yeah, I like to hang out and socialize, especially after a hard training session. Yeah, it feels kind of weird just to like. It honestly seems weird, and I don't think people do this. I think most people do kind of try to chill if they have the time. I know some people don't have that, and sometimes we don't have the time, and we're kind of just there. And then if it's like, oh, we're kind of wasting time. Yeah, I don't want to say socializing is a waste of time, because socializing is important, but we probably have something else to go do, and then we don't always rush off the mats and get to what we got to go do. Especially me, in which case I'm usually like, oh shit, in a hurry, running late, like feeling stressed because now I gotta hurry. But I enjoy socializing, especially after a hard training session. It would be weird to go in, have a really hard training session, smash the fuck out of everybody, and then just leave without saying a fucking word to anybody. That would be weird, right? Right? Would you think that would be weird?
I don't know. I don't really talk to anybody after. I'll come and sit down and listen.
Yeah.
Like what other people are talking about. Like if they're talking about like what happened, but like
you have your friends. You have your friends, Landon.
Yeah, sometimes. Not all the time, but like
y'all talk afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'll admit, like, I have a poor sense of time. I have a poor sense of time. I always feel like I have time until I realize, like, oh shit, I don't have time, and then I'm late. Like, then I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
At that point, I don't have, like, oh shit, I actually don't have enough time, and that sucks. But I'm working on it, and I'm getting better at it. I had a really bad habit. Honestly, for years, I've had a really bad habit of being late to a lot of things, including jiu-jitsu. And I'm sure my coach will see this, and I'm sure he'll have something to say. And I'm sorry, coach. I really am doing my best. I promise you I'm trying, and I don't mean it I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but I really am doing my best. But also at work, like I had a thing at work where I was often 5 to 10 minutes late. You know what I'm saying? And I would call. I used to like sometimes I wouldn't call back in the day. Like I used to like just be like, oh shit, let me just hurry and get there as soon as I can. And then I realized like once I started, I think I have a better sense of time now than I did before. So once I know like, oh, I already know it. If I know it's gonna take me 30 minutes, which is pretty easy to know now. Obviously, there are some times when traffic is different and stuff happens, and it makes you a little later. But technology makes it pretty easy to know how long it'll take you to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So like, I always use my Google Maps. And it's like, oh, it's going to take me 30 minutes to get there. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, sometimes you're on the highway and a wreck happens and then that adds 10 minutes. But Google's pretty accurate. You know what I'm saying? And I usually try to beat it by a couple minutes. And sometimes I can. I try not to speed, even though your mom would disagree with me. But yeah, I am working on it. I'm getting better, and I have been doing really good at getting to work on time, and I think I've even been doing better at getting to jiu-jitsu on time. So I think it's just like a management thing, like a time management thing, and I think I'm getting better. I really do feel like I'm getting better at it. But yeah, yeah, I like that. But yeah, so. Yeah, man, but 10 years? 2014, babe?
Yeah.
The 13.
2014.
We started training at Alvarez in 2014. It was like, what, September, October? I don't know the exact date. Alvarez could possibly tell us the date that we signed up, but, you know what I'm saying? I bet it's in their system. But yeah, so this year will be 10 years, 2024. You were 5, going on 6, or 6 going on 7. I don't remember what the age was at that time. Maybe it was 7 because Emma was 8. I guess it was 7 because you would have been 6. 10 years ago from today, you would have been 6.
Yeah.
And like I said, it'll be 10 years. It's either September or October. It'll be 10 years. So I guess you were 6, going on 7. And I was 29. I was 29, and I'm 39 now. I just turned 39 in June. My birthday's on June 22nd. 39 years old. And, I don't feel old, but I do. I really don't feel old, but my body is aging. And I do feel the difference now more than ever. And I know people will be like, well, what the fuck? You're saying it? That's kind of like saying I feel like I'm getting old. But, like, I'm just not I'm not 16 anymore, or even 20 anymore, or 21, or even 25. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. So I myself don't feel old. I actually feel like I'm in really good shape. I feel like I'm in some of the best shape I've ever been in. I've been smaller, but I'm sure people have heard me say this before. I'm stronger than I've ever been, and I'm still in pretty good shape. And I go to class, and I can get through every round with no issues. Yeah. Obviously, I'm tired afterwards, but yeah, I can do a whole class and even feel like I could do more rounds. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but what's up with you?
Like,
how you feeling lately? I know.
Good. I mean,
the thing sucks. I know. He had a allergy reaction. We went to like an outdoor kind of like community field day type of event, and he had an allergic reaction to what we believe is the grass.
Yeah.
And his doctor said that it could have possibly been poison oak.
No. She was
ivy?
using that as like an analogy. Just
okay. Like if you had come in contact with it, the oil on it would have gotten on you.
Yeah, like if I touched it and then now the residue or whatever is now on my hand.
Right.
And then it's gonna show up in that place.
And it spreads.
Yeah.
And she said that's what it was when it was coming out on your chest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She
She
said it could have like, cause like she said it was gonna show up either way.
Right.
Cause it was there. So she said some of it'll show up later, some of it won't, like a few days later. But what was it? So, cause it was from the water balloons.
Right. That makes sense.
It was reusable water balloons.
They were like water balls.
Yeah.
You soak them, right?
They were like,
them in
they
water.
were like, they were like fluffy balls.
Yeah. Yes.
And then they were in water, and you
soak them in water, and then you throw them at people.
Yeah.
They're not like
You
balloons that you fill up and they bust, and
yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
You pick it up, you throw it, it falls on the grass.
Right.
The grass that made me have the
well, grass is like your number one allergy.
It's like,
yes, Nick is allergic to grass. This is how you defeat him. With the most common grass in Texas, Bermuda grass. So you want to learn how to beat Nick? Put some Bermuda grass in your pocket.
Bro.
But fuck you if you do that, I will fuck you up. Because he's my son. I mean, that's what's on his face right now, where people wondering. I don't think it was... Honestly, when I was looking at the camera, you couldn't really see it. It don't even look back. It looks way better than it did, a week ago or even 3 or 4 days ago. It's clearing up, so happy about that. Really glad that the initial doctor was wrong. That it wasn't some kind of staph or infection. Yeah. So happy for that. Yeah. So, because
the doctor said that it was an allergic reaction, and she said it could have been possible. Like, as an analogy, she said, like, if you were to run through poison oak or like poison ivy, and then it got on you, right, and then if I'm sweating and then I rub it all over
now it's on your face.
I'm like trying to wipe the sweat off. Now it's on my face.
Right,
that's what happened.
Right. So everywhere you touch, you're spreading it, and when you wipe,
that's what happened. Because we're throwing the water balloons.
They hit the ground.
Hit the ground. We go put them back
in
the water.
They're covered in grass.
Yeah, we go pick them back up in water, and now we do it so many times. There's grass in the water.
Right. Oh wow.
Because the grass is sticking.
That's why it was so bad. It was such a bad allergic reaction.
Because the grass was sticking to the balls. So we go back. Now there's grass in the water. We soak them in the water. We throw them at each other, and we just continue to do this. As that happens, I'm like wiping my face off
with your wet shirt.
Like It's so like it's everywhere. Like,
and just like that. Out of commission for like 3 weeks. Yeah. Which fucking sucks. She said you'd be able to lift soon again. Which
after like
I mean, you look good. I wouldn't
Friday
feel bad.
Next week.
I wouldn't feel bad about you going to lift right now. Yeah. But did she say that physical activity would slow the healing process? Slow down the healing process?
Honestly, I don't know. She said a week from Friday, which is when we went.
You look pretty good right now. I wouldn't feel bad. Yeah. And she said you're not contagious anymore, right?
Yeah, she said I was.
She's not contagious.
She said I wasn't contagious.
That's good. So
I think she said I wasn't ever.
I mean, if we wake up tomorrow, you want to go lift? I'm down.
I mean, I don't know, but
if you're down, it's cool. If you wanna, if she told you something and you want to stick to that, that's fine. But I also feel like you don't really have. They're healing up good. They're healing up good. Everything's healing up nice, and you look way better than you did.
Yeah, everything. My whole face was like
even a few days ago. Yeah. Some good shit. Oh, and then the initial doctor, the nurse practitioner at the hospital said you had a little bit of pink eye. I think that was just from the oozing into your eye. I think that's what that was.
Well, it's
when
also
you were swelled up.
When
I poked you. Excuse me.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's cool. Sucks. We were preparing. We were wanting to go to the Dallas Open. He was. Yeah. I wasn't. I wouldn't be.
Honestly. I wanted to go.
Yeah, so sucks you won't be able to do that. It makes sense though because we don't want.
I really wanted to do.
We want you to hit. Yeah, no worries though. I mean, Nogi Pans is coming, and possibly we'll find another tournament for you to do in between here and there, just to get some competition, like just part of a like prep for Nogi Pans. We'll see what we can do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, also. The week after Dallas, if you're still up for it, we got that Friday Night Fights.
Oh yeah.
Kyle Short black belt out of what is it? What's that place called over there? Not Saxy. Jesus, I forget. Kyle Short, old school jiu-jitsu guy here in the Dallas, in the DFW area, kind of outside DFW on the other side of Fort Worth. My brain is kind of lagging and I'm having a total brain fart because I just can't think of that city over there where he's at. But what is his thing? Is it All American or Kyle Short Jiu-Jitsu?
I don't know.
Right. He's an old school guy though. I know, like, you don't necessarily know him, but I follow a lot of jiu-jitsu people. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I've been telling you. You need to follow like more jiu-jitsu people. We're just not exactly on the scene yet. You know what I'm saying? But we've talked about this. Everybody's gonna know when you show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we already took the Dallas Open in spring. That's cool. Double gold. You know what I'm saying? Double gold. Nick took double golds back in March at the Dallas IBJJF Dallas Spring Open. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a pretty big title for the area. That's a big title for the area, for Dallas. AGF didn't really go our way. I didn't really like AGF, to be honest. Nothing against them. Obviously, we came in. We weren't as familiar as we should have been with the rule set. You know what I'm saying? I did see some people, even some of our people that train with us at Alvarez, get some clean guard pulls. But the thing was, the way we kind of pull, we don't necessarily pull. We shoot, which is something I do all the time. I will shoot, and it's a real shot. I'm not shooting just to pull guard. It's a real shot. But if they defend well, which they do, because I myself don't have the best shots. I have to set them up really. What happens is I have to get really good setups.
Yeah.
For me,
or sometimes I'll kind of.
Go ahead. What? I have to get really good setups and have to get a good reaction from them in order for me to get a good takedown. And sometimes I rush it. Not on purpose, but sometimes I rush it and I don't. So once I get a hold of them, which is a very common thing to do in jiu-jitsu, if I shot and they defend, I'll sit to guard. The problem in AGF is if I shoot, you defend, and then I sit to guard, that's 2 points for you, or 1 point?
It's 2.
I don't remember. Something like that. And I'll be honest, I don't like that rule. I don't think it's a good rule, because you kind of didn't really do anything. You defend, maybe an advantage, if you want to say, hey, advantage for defending the shot. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think they do advantages in AGF, but I don't think you should get points for... Maybe if you defend and then turn to my back, like a go behind.
Oh.
Yeah, like if I shoot on you,
yeah,
you sprawl, stuff my head, turn to the back.
I feel like you should.
Now you're on top.
If you're gonna get 2 points, you should be to be rewarded the 2 points for that. You should be ending up in a position where you're on top.
Of dominance.
Yeah.
A dominant position, not in my guard.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
You should be
absolutely,
able to
yes. Yeah, if I shoot and then you somehow get me to my back and land in side control or mount, or honestly, even if you turn to my back, like if I'm turtled and you're on my back, that's a dominant position for you. That's a good position for you. I'm in a defensive position.
Yeah.
The guard is not a defensive position. No matter what anybody thinks, no matter how much anybody doesn't like it, no matter how much people want to say like, oh, fucking guard pullers, fucking guard sitters, learn how to wrestle. Learn some fucking jiu-jitsu, man. Learn some real fucking jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying that wrestling is not important. Wrestling is obviously important. And I'm not saying that in a street fight situation, I'm going to pull guard, because I'm not. Because if I'm in a street fight situation, I'm going to assume that the other guy is probably unskilled. And not in the idea that I'm going to take it easy on him or I'm going to like underestimate him, because that could be a problem because you don't know what people know. But obviously, if I'm in a self-defense or in a real fight, like in a street fight situation, I don't want to be on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? But I could end up on the bottom because like street fights are kind of just scrambly and like weird, and you could end up tripping and falling. The guy could end up on top. So you have to have a good guard. I think I have a very good guard for a street fight situation, for the simple fact that most of my guard game is about sweeping and coming up on top.
Yeah.
I'm not really someone who's gonna submit you. It doesn't happen often. I don't know if I've ever submitted someone from my guard. I probably have, but it's more likely. I've definitely X-choked people from my guard before. It's usually something that you catch people off guard with. Maybe they don't quite see coming. I've even recently, earlier this year, I baseball choked the blue belt. You know, he's really good. Really good blue belt, really strong, young, athletic, strong guy, and he just didn't see it coming. I grabbed the grips. I literally just released my guard because that's how you baseball choke. So grips like this, that's why they call it a baseball choke, because like you grab a baseball bat. And as he's passing to my side control, you just turn. You just turn, and it's a brutal choke if you can turn really hard. You can even sweep people with it. You can even sweep because as you go like this, you just keep turning, and then if they're smart, they'll like roll, and you can kind of roll and come up on top. But even if you come up on top, you keep the grips, you can finish that choke. Because you could do that choke from the mount, from the bottom guard. And guard is essentially just the reverse mount. You're in the same position, your legs are around them. You know what I'm saying? It's just you're on bottom. But I feel like in a street fight situation, people are always like, fucking half guard, I'll beat your ass with fuck. No, bro. I'm going to be on your fucking back before you even realize it. And I'm either going to choke you or I'm going to fucking pound the back of your head into the fucking ground. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. If you don't play half guard and maybe you're not a wrestler, if I get the fuck, you're not even thinking about it. Most guys, whether they wrestle or not, they're not thinking about underhooks and shit. We train so much that it's natural. It's natural. If I end up on bottom and I get to half guard, I'm gonna get an underhook. I'm gonna stuff your knee away. I'm gonna fucking drive you into the ground with the underhook. Like you're gonna face plant. You're gonna post your face plant.
I'm gonna come up.
I'm gonna come up out the back.
Yeah.
And once I'm out the back, I'm gonna fucking beat your head in.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's what I'm. You know what I'm saying? So people discredit the half guard for a self-defense or a street fight situation. I've never felt like that. I've never felt like, oh fuck, the half guard is such a bad situation, I'm gonna get punched. Bro, if you're trying to punch me while I'm in half guard, you're gonna eat fucking concrete. You're gonna eat fucking concrete. Like literally, you're gonna eat concrete. You're gonna try to punch me, and if you don't post your hand, you're gonna eat the fucking concrete. Alright? And I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna come out the back, I'm gonna take your back, I'm gonna get on top of you, and I'm gonna smash you into the fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the concrete ground. Like I can literally just, if I'm on top of you, I can kind of like come like this and push with my chest and smash your face into the ground, or I can just put my hand on your head and smash your face into the ground, or I'm just gonna beat your fucking head in from behind, and it's gonna fucking hurt. Yeah. Now the other thing about jiu-jitsu is maybe you likely don't want to be on the ground with people when there's a lot of people around. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like, if I get in a situation, I feel like in a street fight situation, you're trying to end shit quickly. You're trying to, I suppose, debilitate or like, what do you call them? You're trying to like break people down. You're trying to quickly. You're trying to, I would say, either debilitate or disengage, or both. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to put these people in a situation where they can hurt you and then get out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You don't want to be in a situation where you're just sitting on top of people. You know what I'm saying? And like, especially if there's a lot of people around. If it's just you and one guy, well, yeah, you can hold him down. If nobody's trying to hurt you or kick you in the head or anything, you can hold him down. You can sit on top of him, whether you're on his back or in mount. You could, you know what I'm saying? If you absolutely need them to be out, choke them out. You know what I'm saying? I think chokes are better than like arm locks or foot locks, because there's some crazy people, and some people do drugs, and you could break someone's arm and they might just be ramped up on fucking cocaine or meth or whatever, or even drunk. Even really drunk people, I'm not necessarily worried about someone drunk being dangerous, but I mean, there's definitely a situation where they could be. And you break someone's arm, and maybe they don't stop just because they don't feel it, and maybe that arm, they can't use that arm no more, but they might still be trying to come at you with the other arm. So I think in a street fight or a self-defense situation, I think the best option, if you have to, if it's necessary, is put people to sleep. Obviously, the absolute best situation is to disengage and get away. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, if you can like put somebody on the ground, disengage and get away before they get up or whatever, cool. That's the perfect situation. Or if you could disengage before anything even happens, that's the perfect situation. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to be physically capable. You have to be capable physically from a strength and a conditioning standpoint, and from a skill. You also have to have the skill, which a lot of people, I guess most people kind of don't have either. They don't have good conditioning, they're not strong, they're not fit, and they have no skill. Most people think they can fight, like especially men. Most men think they can fight because they're men. Like, bro, I'm a fucking man. I'm from the hood, or I'm from the country, or I'm from fucking whatever. I know how to fucking fight. Have you ever trained, bro? Go to a gym. You know what I'm saying? I think about that all the time. You see those videos?
What?
You see like street fight videos?
No.
What is in your socials? What's in your social feed? Is it?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really go on it.
Well, where do you consume? YouTube?
Yeah.
Is where you consume. YouTube is still a social media.
I don't really see. There's no fights though.
MMA, jiu-jitsu.
I mean, I get like jiu-jitsu stuff every once in a while, but it's like moves. It's not like fights.
Right.
It's not. There's no fights or anything.
Yeah. It's all gaming stuff.
What? No.
Your algorithm? Is it a lot of gaming and Fortnite stuff?
No, it's it's like there's some random stuff, but it's like but the jiu-jitsu stuff is like always people like showing something, how to do something, but like there's never really.
I mean, you watch the Instagram videos that I send you, right?
Yeah.
IG is a really good place to be if you want to see like jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing, news, technique videos, memes, what else? I actually follow a lot of pages. I send you those videos sometimes of like people breaking down street fights, which is more like a self-defense thing.
You don't send me that.
Yeah, I do. You just don't watch all the videos I send.
Yes, I do.
You've never seen those videos I sent you where it's just like...
I've seen one.
It's like secure... Dude, I send you so many. There's this one... Shit, I can't even think of what it's called. And I can't use my phone because because that's what we're recording on right now. There's this one... What's it called? It's called like something Blade. Blade something. The guy's like a self-defense teacher. And I guess he tries to be like very realistic. And so he talks about a lot of stuff.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Bladecraft. That's what it's called. Bladecraft method. I think that's what it's called. Bladecraft method.
I thought you were about to start. I thought you were about this. I thought you were talking about the dude in like the white or red like gi. And then remember that, you know that, what is it? I don't know if he said
Master Kid?
But he's being stupid though.
Master Kid. Did I send you one so. With him and Craig Jones?
Yeah. the one with the knife.
That's not a knife. He tells him, can you say that's not a knife? That's not a knife. He's telling Craig Jones to say that's not, because
it's not a knife.
Right. Now,
it's not a knife.
I know you're 16 and you don't understand that reference. But that reference is from an old movie called Crocodile Dundee. And in the movie, he's from like Australia, from the outback, and he's used to being out like with animals. Most people in other countries always carry a knife with him because it's a tool. You need to cut a rope, you need to cut a wire, you need to cut a branch, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a tool. Also, like, if you live somewhere where there's wildlife, I mean, fuck, it's fucked up to think about, I guess. Like, I know people, well, whatever. It's a part of it. You might have to fucking try to kill an animal and it's trying to kill you or something. You know what I'm saying? You might have to stab a fucking koala bear or some shit.
Why would a koala bear attack you?
Koala bears are fucking savage.
No, are they really?
Yes, they are. They're fucking killers. What about kangaroos?
Kangaroos.
Same shit though.
You got a box.
You think they're cute? A kangaroo would fuck you up.
No, but have you seen people boxing them? Have you seen people boxing?
The guy who saved his dog.
Oh yeah.
There's the guy who saved his dog. And
he's like it's in the water, right?
He punches it.
It's in the water. I think.
But do you see how he's holding that dog and the dog is like bleeding from its neck and shit?
The kangaroo?
The dog. Yeah, the kangaroo is holding. Kangaroos have claws and shit.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. They have claws. They balance on that tail. Their tail is very powerful. So like they kick, and when they kick, that's what makes their kick so powerful is they're pushing off of their tail. They use their tail for balance, and they use it as a and they'll kick the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? I would imagine it's probably similar to like a horse kick. You ever see somebody get like fucking horse kicked?
No.
Or a donkey kick, like where they'll use the back legs, they lean on the front legs, and they fucking kick the shit out of people. Yeah, or they stomp people. Horses stomp people. I fell off of a horse once when I was a kid. And the guy said I was lucky. He was like, "You're lucky that this horse is tame, because
any other horse would have stomped on you.
Any other horse would have fucking stomped on you till you were dead." Damn. That's what he told me. And it made me think, like, why the fuck did you put me on the horse? Well, I guess because it was tame, because he knew it was tame. But what happened is, I used to travel a lot with my mom, your Grandma Rose, and I used to travel a lot with her. Well, not a lot, but we traveled a few times. And we went to Mexico, and we were in Chihuahua. There's a state in Mexico called Chihuahua. And we were in this little town, this little like ranch town called Mesquite, but it was in Mexico. It was called Mesquite. And there were some people there that owned a bunch of land and owned horses and had cows. That they lived on a ranch. They lived like a ranch life. It was cool. I liked it. I was a kid. I was like 10 or 11 maybe. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, I was like 10 or 11. And the guy would wake up every morning and he would go milk the cow, and he would bring the milk, and then his wife would make fresh cheese with it. It was fucking delicious. His wife would make fresh cheese with the raw milk. It was amazing.
The raw milk?
Yeah, it was delicious.
Don't they like? Don't they have to like?
No, Nick, you're just. No.
I don't know, cause I've heard like at the
they have
same
to homogenize it and filter it.
Yeah, cause like there's blood.
It was good. It was good.
Cause like their blood also seeps out, or so I don't know. That's what I.
Well, you know what they say that is? They say it's because they milk them too much, so their teats bleed.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, there could also be something in the milk already, like naturally. It's probably just stuff. I mean, their baby cows eat it. I mean, they're cows, but we're not cows. I've heard people make that point that we're not baby cows, and so we don't need cow milk, because baby cows need the milk because it's gonna help them grow into like big fat cows. And it's like, so if you drink milk, you're gonna get big and fat like a fucking cow. But it's like, well, I don't drink as much milk as a fucking baby cow, you fucking asshole. That's how I feel. Like, I don't drink as much milk as a fuck you. You know how much how much milk a baby cow would drink? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot. But I actually went out with him one day. Well, there's like, I don't even remember if this is the same day. So it was one day I woke up early with him, and he took me with him to go milk the cows and stuff. And what they do is, so he has a milker cow. Like, there's one cow, and she's the cow that gives milk. And it's usually like a cow that has a baby calf. Because just like people, animals, we're mammals, just kind of like cows. So if your mom has a baby, she's going to produce milk. Same thing with the cows. Cows have a baby, they begin to produce milk. So what happens is we take the baby calf, we bring it to the cow, to the milking cow. We let the baby calf begin to feed because the cow has to drop the milk and release the milk. So if we just go and milk her, she may not release the milk to us, right? So we bring the baby calf starts sucking on the milk, the cow releases the milk, and then we pull the baby calf away. Like, fuck you, bitch, that's my milk. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck your baby. You know what I'm saying? So we pull the baby calf away. The cow has released the milk for the baby calf, and we say, fuck you, baby calf, we're taking your milk. We pull the baby calf. So what happened is, the guy says, okay, the guy ties a rope on, he's talking to me in Spanish, he ties a rope on the baby calf. He says, when I tell you to pull the baby calf away, because the baby cow has to try to drink milk for the mom cow to release milk. So he says, so take the rope and pull the baby calf away when I tell you, so that I can milk the cow. So he's like, okay. The baby cow goes, drinks milk. He's like, okay, pull her. I go to pull. This baby cow is strong as fuck. I cannot pull the baby cow. I'm trying to pull like 10 or 11 years old, however old I was. I'm trying to pull the baby cow. Huh? Move them if you want. You want to move these?
Sure, buddy.
I'm trying to pull the baby cow. I pull it. He's like, pull harder. I pull it a little. I pull it. The cow pulls me and drags me through shit. The cow is pulling me and drags me through the shit. The baby cow. Little calf like this big. Like it's a calf. Calves are not small, but they're big. They're like baby calf. Yeah. Like the size of a pony. Yeah, that's like a big dog.
Like the height of
the size of a big dog.
Like here? Like the height of a, or a little less?
To the waist. Like if I was standing to my waist, like about bear size and obviously longer, like height wise.
Yeah.
So height wise, like a 7 or 8 year old kid. The cow pulls me. He's like, oh shit. So he comes. He's like, look. He's like, so what you can do is use your whole body. So he tells me, wrap the rope around your body, and then just pull with your whole body like that. And that's what I ended up doing. And but the cow had already dragged me through shit and everything.
And it dragged me.
Yeah.
It dragged you again?
No. The second time it didn't, because he was like, I was just pulling with my hands, and I was trying to like wrap the rope around and he was like, wrap it around your waist. And when I tell you to, just pull the baby cow away, because the baby cow is eating, and then we're pulling it away. So the baby cow's like trying to get back to the milk, to the titty. The baby cow's trying to get back to the cow teat and eat milk, because you know what I'm saying? Because and they just dragged me through the shit. Like I fell. I was all dirty. He's like, and the guy's like, "Chingao." He's like, "No," but he's like, "Then." And he's telling me in Spanish, you know, I'm out there seeing, wrap it around your waist and pull with your whole body. He's like, that'll do it. And then we did it again, and that's what I did. And then the horse, I was up on the horse, and I basically got up on it bareback, like no saddle. And he just had it. What they do is they tie this rope like around the mouth. They tie it like a so no bridle. They just tie it around the mouth. And then you like pull.
Around the mouth? Where?
Yeah, around the mouth and around the head. They mount the rope somehow. I don't know how to do it, but somehow it goes around the mouth and then it comes around. And what you do is, that's how you steer a horse. Mm-hmm. You pull it this way, and the head turns this way, it goes that way. You pull it this way, the head turns that way, it goes that way. So I got on it. We're in the corral. I get on the horse. I think he might have put a blanket on it, but that was it. I think it was bareback, actually. I don't remember exactly if it had a blanket or not. It was completely bareback, I think. I get on the horse. I've never ridden a horse before. I get on the horse. He shows me how to do it. The horse starts walking a little. I'm steering it this way, that way. Everything's fine. He tells me, okay, now if you want it to go a little faster, just give it a little kick in the belly. Like my legs are hanging. Just give it a little kick, and the horse will go faster. So I give it a little kick, and the horse starts going a little bit, you know, and I'm going around. I'm just going in circles in the corral. He goes, I'm like, okay, I want to go a little faster. I kick it again. The horse starts galloping. The horse starts galloping. I fall off. I fall flat on my back. Knocks all the wind out of me. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? The horse literally, I fall off. The horse literally just stops and stands there. And it's just like looking at me and shit. And he's like, are you okay? And then like he was telling that story for days. Se subió al caballo. Le dije, dale una patadita para que se vea más recio. Like telling me, you know, because he was telling me, everything was in Spanish. He was telling me in Spanish. Y le dio una patada. El caballo comenzó a galopear y boom, se cayó. You know, like saying like the horse started galloping and boom, he fell and he hit the ground and I was like, shit. Yeah, and he told me, he's like, suerte que este caballo es manso. He's like, you're lucky this horse was tame. He's like, this horse is very tame. This is one of my calmest horses. That's why I let you ride it. I guess that was the reason why he even let me on it, you know. He was like, any other horse could have stomped you. Like, and that's what happens. That does happen. Mm-hmm. People riding horses, they fall off and they get stomped. Yeah, they get stomped. And you get injured or could even die. So, yeah. And that's actually not the last time that there was another thing. I rode the horse again. The horse's name was Copper, because that's what color he was. He was like a bronzish color, like a copper. And I rode it again, but this time with a saddle. And so the horse like went wild, but I didn't fall because I just grabbed onto the crown of the saddle. You know how the saddle has that thing? You've seen a horse saddle before, right? Yeah. And it has that thing. And I just grabbed on, and I was like, oh shit! And the horse was like, wow, like bucking, like hard, and I didn't fall though. He was surprised that I didn't fall. I was surprised that I didn't fall. But it's just because it had a saddle, and I was just holding on. Like it had a really good saddle. The saddle was strapped on, and it had the bit. I just lost hold of the bit. I lost hold of the reins because it had a bit in its mouth, but I lost hold of the reins. I don't know what made it start bucking like that. And even he said, he's like, well, no sé qué pasó. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I started bucking. This is one of mine. It was the same horse. Like it was a tame horse. It was a very calm horse. It was very well trained. And then he got on it, and he looked like a badass. He like, because his house, they live in an area near like a big mountain, una serra. That's what they call it, a serra. It's like a huge mountain range. And so, literally, their water comes from a waterfall that falls off the mountain. And so the water literally is like clear and is clean and purified from coming down the mountain. It's spring water. That's what spring water is. So it's naturally clean because it's going through the rocks. And they go to this place called an ojo, like a pozo. So it's a water hole. And so you can't swim in that water hole directly where the water falls. You can swim further down. You can swim downstream of where you get the drinking water from, because that keeps the drinking water clean. And they go and they fill up like big ass buckets, and that's their drinking water. It's good water. It was good water. It was really good water. No. But yeah. But their house was like on a loma, like on a small hill, because sometimes their area flooded. So they have to be on a hill so that their house wouldn't get flooded. A lot of the houses were on hills. But he got on the horse and he like went up the hill really fast, and then the horse like stood up, and literally, dude, it looked like a movie, because like the sun, you know how like the sun and the silhouette, like the shadow, like, and the horse is like this, like up on its back two legs, and he's on it like. And I was like, what? And that shit looked fucking bad. It looked like some movie shit. I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker is Zorro or some shit. This fool is like a fucking Western action hero and shit. It was cool. Like back then, it was cool. Mm-hmm. It's still cool. It's still cool. Like that's still cool. He was an older guy. His name was Don Simon. They were really cool. They were nice. They were like church people, because that's what we used to do. I used to travel my mom for church and stuff, and so all the people that we would meet were like church people. It was really nice. I remember when I rode, but that day, after the horse like calmed down, he let me ride. I rode that horse all day long, and I was like sore the next day in between my legs from riding the horse like this, and I was like, oh. So when you see like cowboys who ride horses all the time, they're bow-legged from riding horses all the time. So they're like this. They walk like that because they're always riding horses, and they're right, yes. But yeah, so that's a little story from when I was a kid and used to go to Mexico and stuff with my mom. Yeah, yo, that dude was kind of rich though.
Really?
Yeah. Like he had like worked all his life and had a lot of land in Mexico. And literally, we were standing outside of his house one day, and literally, what he said to me, "You see all the land?" He's like, "Everything you see, pretty much as far as you can see, is mine." And I was like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "For real?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I own all this land," and it was like a lot of fucking land, dude. And I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "This dude's kind of a fucking baller." He was getting a pension. This was back in the day, like where you could retire and actually get a good pension. And they lived on the border. Well, they weren't too far from the border, but apparently, like when he worked, he used to work. He worked in the U.S., so he would cross the border to go to work. So he had like a pension, a U.S. pension, and I think he was also getting money from Mexico. But yeah. So yeah. But yeah, man. Have you been following any of the CJI stuff?
No.
You've been playing a lot of video games, right? You've been playing a lot of Fortnite lately?
Yeah.
Especially since you can't train, right?
Yeah. I mean, I watch videos sometimes, but not all. It's like I like to watch matches, but I feel like
right.
Yeah.
I
like to watch new matches. I'll watch matches twice. Like I'll watch them multiple times. Like going over them again. Because I enjoy them. Like I really do.
Yes, I do. I also do.
That's like
they're good, right? Honestly, the B team guys, man. The B team guys are fucking good.
They're getting better.
I will be honest. I was like, they were not my favorite people. Like they're not bad people. Like Nicky Rod's not a bad guy. J Rod's not a bad guy. I don't know them personally, but they don't come. You know what I'm saying? The characters, who they are online, don't come across as bad people. Obviously, they train hard. Obviously, they're good wrestlers. Obviously, they're athletic. I always felt like their technique was somewhat lacking, but I do feel like they're definitely elevating themselves in a major way as of lately. Mm-hmm. From what I see in their matches. Did you watch that J Rod Tynan Dalper match?
Yeah.
We don't have. I know we don't have WNO. We had it for a little bit. We got it around the time of that last WNO event because we wanted to watch it live. I mean, I'm not gonna pay. Well, really, I just don't have the money to pay for a whole year of Flow Grappling. And honestly, I didn't think it was really worth it. It's worth it to watch the live events. I didn't like their search engine. It's hard to find matches after they already happened. It's really hard. Did you struggle with that?
I mean, I wasn't on it.
You didn't really go back. Right. Well, I was trying when they did Worlds. Like, I was struggling to follow it and couldn't really find matches after the fact.
Really? I was able to find them.
Really?
Yeah, I found matches. You just had to click on it again. Or like they had like a thing underneath.
But when I was searched for specific matches, I was having trouble finding them.
Oh.
And so I was kind of like, well, I mean, like I felt like
because I went back on some world matches.
On Flow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What'd you watch? Do you remember?
No, I know. I watched a few matches though. They were all like. I'd seen Tynan's match and then.
Oh, is it the one where he got disqualified?
Yeah.
That was bullshit. Francisco Lowe. Honestly, that was bullshit. Look, obviously Francisco Lowe is high level. He's an elite black belt. He's really good. But he does look dirty. You know what I'm saying? So it does look. And then like on Instagram, they were showing videos of him doing that same kind of stuff years before. And then like, obviously like pretending to be. I don't know if he's pretending. Maybe he wasn't, but it seemed like he was pretending because he would come back to his. He still continued competing and would kind of be fine. Like, bro, I thought you were hurt. Like, what happened? You know
yeah, because didn't he come back right after that for the finals match?
Yes. And then, like, on Instagram, people were coaches, like Tynan's coaches, the Mendes brothers. They posted some stuff like, hey, this guy's done this before. He does it every year. So it definitely doesn't look good for him. But, I mean, nobody could take away what he is, but stuff like that will definitely hurt his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it makes them look dirty. Like, if you're good, be good, bro. I get doing anything to win, but like, that makes it seem like maybe you kind of fell back on your preparation, or, you know what I'm saying? If you're really elite and you're that good, like, why even put yourself in a situation that would give people the opportunity to call you dirty or a cheater, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, go out there, give 100% do your best, you know what I'm saying? And if for some whatever reason it's not working, or you're not winning, or you're not achieving at the level that you want to achieve, figure it out.
Yeah.
If you're already doing your best to prepare for competition, and you're going out and you're giving 100% and doing your best at competition, and that's still not enough, well, then something more is required of you. There's something more that is required of you for you to achieve the level that you want to. If you're already giving 100% in every aspect, in training, in everything, mental, nutrition, if you're doing all these things and you're still not, because all those things don't guarantee world championship, and don't guarantee that you win all the time, and don't guarantee that you're the absolute best, but like, you got to figure it out, and you may not. Sometimes you're just in the wrong era. Sometimes it's the Gordon era, and maybe you're the best you'll ever be, but nobody's as good as Gordon. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe not. Maybe you have to wait until Gordon's not here anymore. And hopefully someone else isn't coming up and it's their era. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cole Abate is a badass, right? But he might not achieve everything he wants to achieve or whatever. Whoever is in Gordon's division may not achieve everything they want to achieve in the Gordon era, because it's Gordon era, and then next thing you know, here comes Kiki, and we go from the Gordon era to the Kiki era. I'm just saying as an example. You know what I'm saying? So you might be the best you could be, you might be giving 100%, you might be preparing, you might be doing all the things right, and it's just not your era. But at that point, like, if you're doing everything 100%, if your nutrition is on point, if your strength and conditioning is on point, if your jiu-jitsu training is on point, if your technique is on point, if everything is on point, and then you're mentally, everything is on point, like, you have to figure out, okay, it feels like I'm doing everything right, but I'm still not winning or achieving at the level that I want to achieve. What else is required of me? Mm-hmm. There is something. Something. If you really want it, there is something that you're not doing. There's something. There has to be something. You can figure it out. Change it up. Switch it up. Bring in a new coach. Bring in a new strength coach. Bring in a new jiu-jitsu guy. Train. Maybe you have to go train somewhere else. Something. You have to figure out what is required of you to take you beyond your 100%. Because we know people do that. That's what I feel like. I feel like at the most elite level, you're going beyond 100%. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we've seen situations where it seems like people are done, and it's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when your 100% is not doing it, what else is required? You have to do, when you're doing everything you can do, what else is required? That's what you have to figure out. You know what I'm saying? And we've talked about this, like, for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not always... It's actually never... I was going to say it's not always about how you feel. It's not always about how you feel, or what you want, or what you like, or what you love, or what makes you happy, or what makes you whatever. You know, it's not about what you want to do. Those things are important as far as, like, happiness and fulfillment You know what I'm saying? But if you have a goal, and this goal is something that requires an elite level to achieve, your feelings are at the bottom of the priority list. And what you want to do is at the bottom of the priority list. And what you like to do is at the bottom of the priority list. This is my goal. This is what is required. Mm-hmm. That's it. And if you're, like I said, if you're giving 100%, well then something, and you're not getting to where you want to be exactly, which it doesn't, again, giving 100% and giving you out doesn't always guarantee that you're going to get what you want. But you have to make sure you're doing everything that is required. You know, sometimes it feels like you're doing everything, but something is missing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something is missing. And sometimes there are times when, like, maybe you're going 100%, but you're giving the wrong kind of 100%. Maybe it's not planned out right. Periodization. Maybe you're not peaking at the right times. Maybe you're not. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of different. So that's all stuff we got to figure out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I mean, what do you think? Have you I asked you about that Mike Perry thing. So you don't follow like the Jake Paul stuff, all the boxing and all that? Yeah. You gotta start following that stuff, dude. That's stuff we're gonna talk about. You gotta start. I want you to just start being up on the news and the MMA, jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing, wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Flo posts a lot of Flo wrestling stuff that's really good. Well, you know, Jake Paul boxes, and there's this guy named Mike Perry, and if you want, like, pull up a clip. If you just look up Jake Paul versus Mike Perry, Jake Paul knocked him out. So Mike Perry was an MMA guy who was somewhat successful, like did okay, but I don't think ever won a title or a championship, and then started doing bare knuckle boxing because there's an organization now called Bare Knuckle Championship Fighting, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, BKFC, and he was the champion of that, and he was like, yeah, this was built for me. Like, it's kind of like it's more gritty. They get beat up badly because they're actually bare knuckle. I think they just wrap them. I think they wrap their hands. I'm not sure. I have to look. I've seen the clips, but he was really good at it. And they're boxing, but they're bare knuckle boxing, so it's a little different.
Him and Jake?
No.
Oh.
Him and Jake had a regular boxing match, but what I'm saying is he was doing bare knuckle boxing before. Mm-hmm. So the difference in bare knuckle boxing is you have to be careful and be kind of conservative, because you can't just let loose with your hands because your knuckles, your hand is exposed.
Yeah. So
if we fight with our bare fist, and I punch you, it'll hurt you, but it's very likely that I will also break my hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
my hand's not wrapped, it's not protected, shit, like stuff like that, you know? So, yeah. And so that's what he was doing. And there is a certain way to fight like that, and he was good at it. He's a tough guy. That's what it comes down to. It's a lot of toughness. Obviously, you do have to know how to fight. You still got to know how to fight, but it's a lot of toughness. You know what I'm saying? He's a tough, gritty guy. So that was kind of like, he was kind of built for that. And so they did this regular boxing match with Jake Paul. They set it up, and Jake Paul knocked him out. And a lot of people. Well, you know, a lot of people don't think Jake Paul is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Have you followed any of that story at all? Like,
no,
over the past? No.
I didn't know.
You didn't know Jake Paul was boxing?
No, I knew he was boxing.
Yeah. Well, like, he's fought like a lot of MMA fighters and guys who weren't really strikers, some celebrities. Kind of like came up like as like a YouTube kind of boxer. You know what I'm saying? You know how those guys, guys do that. There's people that do stuff, they just do YouTube boxing, like celebrity boxing. It kind of started out like that, but he started training a lot and became very dedicated. and has fought some legit fighters, but not what people would consider legit high-level boxers, because there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in being elite at MMA, where maybe you have some striking, but maybe you're more of a wrestler. Because he fought a guy named Ben Askren, who was definitely special. Like, his specialization was wrestling. It wasn't boxing, and I think he knocked him out. I think he knocked out Ben Askren, but Ben Askren's not a boxer. He's an MMA fighter, and he was good. He was even elite. He was a champion in Bellator. But he's not a boxer, and he doesn't have elite boxing skills. He has elite MMA skills. You know what I'm saying? And he's tactical. Like, he knows how to impose his game. So he would get close to guys, take them down, beat them up on the ground. Wrestle them, beat them up on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people thought he was boring because, like, a lot of it, he's trying to control people, hold people down, and then get to positions where he didn't have a lot of finishes, I don't think. He had some submission finishes, some like TKOs, like just striking, boom, boom, and they stop him. But I think a lot of his wins were decisions. But a lot of his MMA fights were won because of his wrestling, not because of his boxing. So, and then he fought like, did he fight Kamaru Usman? I don't remember. He fought a few MMA fighters, and people were like, yeah, but he's not a boxer. And so that's the thing with Jake Paul. People are like, well, he's fighting all these people that aren't real boxers. But, like, this fight with this guy, Mike Perry, was his 11th fight. So here's the thing. In boxing, young fighters who are new, if you feel like they have a promising career ahead of them, you don't put them in with fucking killers. All right? Any smart coach and or manager, so if a good boxer has a good team behind him, they will pick fights for him that they know he can win, especially early on in his career. So the first 10 fights is a very good example of that. So the first 10 fights of any young boxer's career, if they feel like he's good, will be against people that they feel he can beat, to build up his record, to put him in a position to. So he's gaining experience, he's building up a good record, he's building up wins, knockouts, whatever it is he does, and they're kind of like helping him. It's just growth and experience. You know what I'm saying? And putting him in a position to look good, so that when he gets to, like, Jake's kind of getting to that point now. Once he starts getting closer to 15 fights, 16 fights. Right now he's 11-1 because he fought this guy named. There's this boxer, Tyson Fury. He fought his brother, I think. I forgot his name. I don't know. I forgot his first name, but his last name's Fury. Tyson Fury is this big heavyweight boxer. I think that's his name, right? Tyson Fury? Yeah. I'm not the biggest boxing guy, but I follow it somewhat, like most people. And most people don't know shit, but I know how, like, I kind of have an idea of how they bring up young boxers. And people, the thing that's going on with Jake Paul right now is normally a fighter with 10 fights or less would not have this much attention and exposure on it, and would not be making this much money. Like I was saying, normally a fighter with 10 fights or less, which this was Jake's 11th fight. This was Jake's 11th fight in his boxing record. Nobody would know who he was. I would guess most people don't know any boxers with less than 20 fights. Most people don't know any boxers outside of the top guys. Mm-hmm. And some people aren't in a position to fight those top guys until 20, 25, 30 fights in. Because they haven't put together a good enough record. Because if at some point if after 10, 11, 12, 15 fights, if you're not winning enough, you're not going to be in a position to challenge someone who's a contender, or even a champion, or even a contender. You know what I'm saying? Like so most young fighters, to be honest, most young fighters coming up, like like Christopher Boxes, right? When he starts fighting, obviously he'll go through like the tournaments, silver gloves, golden gloves, you know, Olympics if he's interested in that. Try to make the USA team if he's interested in that. But either way, early in his career, if they start to do like what they call open matches, well then your Theo, his dad, because his dad is gonna help make some of those decisions. His coach, his coaches and trainers, his managers, and his dad will hopefully put him up against guys who they know he can beat, especially for his first 10 fights. Because then they go, oh, we got 10 fights. He's 10-0. He's got like, you know, a few knockouts, a bunch of dominant decision wins where he won by a lot. So early on, like I was actually like commenting on some IG stuff last night. Early on, young fighters will fight a lot of bums. There's a lot of bums in the lower ranks of boxing that will never make it out of the lower ranks of boxing. And the people who within the boxing community know who those people are. And they're like, oh, this guy, he's tough and he's an okay boxer, but he's kind of a bum and you could beat him. So let's fight him to get you a win on your record. And they'll do that for like the first 10, 12, maybe even 15 fights. So if Jake has 15 fights and he's 15-1, that's a very strong record. If he has another fight, if he has 13 fights, if he's 12-1, that's a very strong record. Whoa, 12 fights, 1 loss, a few knockouts, some dominant decision wins. Wow, this guy's good. The problem is there's so much attention on Jake, so much more than there would be on any other fighter with 10 or 12 fights or less. And so people are like, oh, he's not fucking legit. He's just making money. Like, oh my God, he's making money. Fuck him. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, he's supposed to be making money. Yeah. He's supposed to be making money. He's supposed to be taking easy fights right now. He's supposed to be gaining experience. He's supposed to be building up his record. Right now is the time where maybe he starts to fight more serious opponents that could be a challenge for him. You know what I'm saying? Up until this point, that he's coming up on 12 fights. He doesn't have to. He could continue to take a few more fights where he fights people he knows he's going to win, and it kind of looks like that's what he's going to do. And that's not a bad decision. Build your fucking record up. Build your record up. Go 15-1. Go 14-1. Go 20-1. You got that one loss? You don't want another one. You don't want another one. You want to win maybe 10 more fights. You want to put yourself in the best position to win 10 more fights. And then be like, look, I've got 21 fights. I won 20 of them. I lost 1. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you avenge the loss. Maybe your 15th fight is against, you know, this Fury guy again. I forgot his name, but he's Tyson Fury's brother. That's how I do know that. Huh? Do it? Like maybe you come back and say, I want to avenge the loss against Fury.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you have more fights, you have more experience, you have more training time, you're better. You're better. So maybe now you can win. Maybe it wasn't like, I don't know if the guy knocked him out or anything, but people are like hating on him because he's got a lot of attention on him. He's making money. He's fighting people. He's taking easy fights. Bro, he's at this stage in his career where he should be taking easy fights. He's trying to build a strong record. Later, a few more fights is when he'll start, you know what I'm saying? Start to fight the lower end of the contenders, of people who might be on the path to challenge for a title. You know what I'm saying? And then start and go from there. And then work your way up to challenging a champion. You know what I'm saying? Challenging for a title. So he's doing it right. But there's so much attention on him that people are hating on him. And the fact that he's making so much money already, people are hating on him. When he's only making money because he's good at marketing, which has always been their thing. The Paul brothers, Jake and, you know, him and Logan. Like they're good at marketing. They were Disney kids, yes. But there's no reason to hate on him. Like if he's putting in the time and he's getting better and he's training and he's serious. And when you watch him box, he's a legit boxer. He's a legit boxer. He has legit boxing skill. Is he elite right now? Probably not. Is he a good boxer? Yes. That's my opinion. I watched his fight with an MMA guy who was a guy that used to be a champ in UFC. Well, the fight with Nick Diaz. I watched the fight with Nick Diaz. He outboxed Nick Diaz. He absolutely outboxed Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is tough. I think maybe he wasn't trying to knock him out. Like, he didn't want to knock him out. I don't know. This seems kind of weird. But maybe he has some respect for Nick Diaz. I don't think Nick Diaz could have beat him in any situation. Like, Jake Paul is bigger. That's another thing. People are like, well, he's bigger. He's heavier than him, blah, blah, blah. And Jake Paul couldn't even knock him out. I don't think Jake Paul was trying to knock him out. I think Jake Paul was just trying to have a good fight. I think Jake Paul knew how tough he was and knew that he could take a lot of damage, because he can. He takes a lot of damage, and he can take that damage. He's tough. He's gritty. He has endurance for fighting. Nick Diaz does. Not Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, the little brother. Nick Diaz is the older brother. Nate is the younger brother. He fought Nate. In that fight, though, he definitely outboxed Nate Diaz. I watched that fight. I think I watched it more than once. And he 100% outboxed and outskilled Nate Diaz. Now, what would happen in an MMA fight? I don't know. I think it's likely that Nate Diaz would win in an MMA fight, because Nate Diaz would box a little, get inside, maybe take him down, get it to the ground, and submit him. I think that would be the likely thing to happen. That fight's never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't need to happen. But what I do know is he definitely outboxed Nick Diaz. And there was another fight before that, and another guy who was a champion. And from what I've seen, he outboxed him too. Now, these guys aren't boxers. But there is an argument to make that these MMA fighters who have good striking for MMA could possibly be just as skilled as a low-end boxer. So it wouldn't be that much different him fighting MMA guys who don't actually have elite, amazing boxing skill. It's probably not that different from him fighting a lower-ranked boxer who maybe has been around for a while, hasn't really done anything with his career, doesn't have any big wins. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of doesn't have a good win streak, has a half and half record. Let's say maybe has 20 fights and has lost 8 of them. That's not a great record. It's above 50% of his wins. He's got more than, he's won more than, but it's not a great record. And in the lower end of the boxing ranks, these guys are probably just as good. These MMA guys who come over and maybe don't have this elite boxing skill are probably just as good as these low-end, lower-ranked boxers. And people are like, well, he's not fighting real boxers. And I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't know shit about boxing. Jake Paul is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. You're just mad because he's making mad fucking money. Because he knows how to market himself. And because, like, he already had a name for himself.
Yeah.
People already knew who he was. He already had a following. He made deals that put him in a position to make good money. I don't think he's paying people to take losses, because real fighters are not going to do that, regardless of how much you pay them.